What's up guys, my name's Brandon and today we're going to be running a speed test between the brand new iPhone XR and 2014's iPhone 6. So the reason for this video is because I know a lot of people out there are still using the iPhone 6 and the 6 Plus as their daily driver and they're considering upgrading to something like the iPhone XR or maybe the iPhone XS. So this video should help you see just how much faster the iPhone XR is and if it's actually worth updating to in 2018. So of course, like I always do in these speed tests, we're going to be doing boot up tests, app launching tests, web browsing tests. We're going to be doing a RAM test between these two and more. So before we get started, let's go ahead and lay down the specs. So right here on the right, we have the iPhone XR, which has Apple's A12 Bionic chip, their latest chipset for the iPhone. And along with that, it has 3 gigabytes of RAM. And then over here on the left, we have the 2014 iPhone 6, which has Apple's A8 chip and 1 gigabyte of RAM. So we do have 3 times as much RAM here on the iPhone XR. And we also have the A12 chip, which is 4 generations newer than the A8 chip on the iPhone 6. Alright, so let's go ahead and shut both of these guys down and then we're going to do a boot up test to see which one gets to the lock screen first. Alright, so we are completely powered off on both devices. We're going to go ahead and turn them on in 3, 2, 1. We only have to tap it on the XR, but we have to hold it on the iPhone 6. And you can see we got a visual on the iPhone 6 first. Let's see which one actually finishes first and gets to the lock screen first. So the iPhone XR has actually been struggling here in the boot up test. So we'll see which one wins here, the iPhone 6 or the iPhone XR. And the iPhone XR wins by a few seconds here over the iPhone 6. So you can see here a pretty significant change in the boot up time. So a good like 10 seconds here, the iPhone XR beat the iPhone 6. Now let's go ahead and see which one can get to the camera from the lock screen first in 3, 2, 1. And we got the square first on the iPhone XR. We got no focus. There we go. The late focus there on the iPhone 6. So the win definitely goes to the XR here, but it is much faster on iOS 12. I'm running 12.1 on both of these. But iOS 12 in general, you're going to notice a faster animation and just faster to get to the camera from the lock screen here on the older devices like the iPhone 6 and the 5S. So obviously we have Face ID here on the iPhone XR, and on the iPhone 6 we have Touch ID. So let's see which one actually gets us to the home screen quicker. So let's go ahead and do Touch ID here to get to the home screen, just like so. Let's do that again. And you can see there the animation and everything. Let's see how fast it is on the iPhone XR. If we swipe up, let it scan our face, you can see that. Let's do it one more time. So you can see the unlocking process. The unlocking in general is just faster with Face ID and the iPhone XR. It's hard to tell now because of the angle I'm at and in recording this video, but you can notice a substantial difference in getting to the home screen from the lock screen via Face ID versus Touch ID. And the overall accuracy of Face ID is just better than Touch ID. Now I do love Touch ID. I do kind of miss it sometimes, but Face ID is definitely faster and it just seems to be more accurate. All right, so now let's go ahead and launch some applications to see which one is faster. So we're going to make sure we are closed out of all applications on both devices. We're cleared out of everything on the iPhone 6, and now we are on the iPhone XR as well. So we're going to start off with Galaxy on Fire 3 in 3, 2, 1. Press at the exact same time there. And it looks like we have something here on the iPhone 6 first, but we are loading first on the iPhone XR, it looks like. And yeah, it looks like the XR is going to easily take this one here. So you can see we do have a little update here. We're probably going to get that on the iPhone 6 as well. Yes, we do. So you can see the iPhone XR still in the lead. We still haven't got to the main screen just yet. And there we go. The XR just now got to the main play screen. The iPhone 6 a few seconds behind, a good at least 5 seconds, going on 10 seconds behind the iPhone XR. There we go, finally. And you can see the overall gaming experience is obviously going to be much better on the iPhone XR as well. We have the much bigger display, the higher quality display. So if you're into gaming, definitely you're going to notice a big upgrade in the iPhone XR over the iPhone 6. Let's go ahead into Asphalt 9 in 3, 2, 1. Press at the same time again. We had a quicker animation there on the iPhone XR, it looked like. And we are loading up faster as well. You can see by about 3 to 5 seconds, it looks like. So let's see which one actually gets to the main screen first. And there we go, the iPhone XR. Still waiting on the iPhone 6 here. Still waiting. And the iPhone 6 eventually got there more than 10 seconds after the iPhone XR. So definitely a big difference in gaming performance here on the iPhone XR as expected. This thing is a beast when it comes to gaming. The Apple A12 Bionic chip is nothing to play around with. That thing is a beast when it comes to gaming. So let's go ahead to PUBG in 3, 2, 1. Press at the same time once again. Visual first on the iPhone XR. Just a few seconds behind the iPhone 6. And you can see we are on the update page now. And we did have to download a little hotfix there on the iPhone XR. We'll have to do the exact same thing here on the iPhone 6. And you can see we are to the main screen now on the iPhone XR. The iPhone 6 a good 10 seconds at least behind the iPhone XR here. So you can see the download's going slower as well. It's the exact same download on both devices. You can see it was definitely much quicker on the iPhone 6, or on the iPhone XR, sorry. The iPhone 6 we're still waiting on. And it looks like we're finally about to get to the main screen here. There we go. In actual in-game performance, it's not even close. The iPhone XR is just miles ahead of the iPhone 6 when it comes to actually playing games like PUBG, Asphalt 9, Fortnite. You're just going to notice a massive difference in the iPhone XR over the iPhone 6. All right, so now let's go ahead and open up some social media applications, and we'll start with Twitter in 3, 2, 1. Press at the same time there. Looks like it's going to load up first on the iPhone XR. You can see at least looks like 5 seconds behind the iPhone 6 there. So now I want to see which one has the faster animation for opening up the share sheet. So first of all, rest in peace to Stan Lee. So let's go ahead to share here on both. We're going to click on share tweet via at the exact same time in 3, 2, 1. You can see the share sheet definitely came up first there on the iPhone XR. Let's try it one more time. 3, 2, 1. And yes, the iPhone XR by about a second. So that is something I always like to test because that's usually a part of iOS that feels sluggish and kind of laggy, especially on older phones like the iPhone 6. All right, so now let's go ahead and open up Instagram in 3, 2, 1. Once again, the animation was quicker there on the iPhone XR, and we loaded up first on the iPhone XR, still waiting on the iPhone 6, still waiting, there we go. So we were waiting on the stories to finally fully load there as well. So definitely a big difference in social media as well. Let's go into YouTube. And the iPhone XR, yes, the iPhone XR, once again, we had a splash screen there, but you can see the iPhone XR won in YouTube as well. Let's go into Amazon. And the iPhone XR once again. So the iPhone XR is just dominating the iPhone 6 as expected. I mean, this isn't really a, which device is faster. It's really more of how much faster is the iPhone XR than the iPhone 6. That's what people are going to be watching this video for. And you can see that there is a pretty big difference in speed. And like I said, just opening up these applications doesn't even tell you the full story. Actually playing games, intensive games like PUBG, Fortnite, Asphalt, you're going to notice a massive difference on the iPhone XR. The performance is just so much better. The GPU is better, just everything is better about the iPhone XR, especially when it comes to gaming. So I will say this right now, even though we're only halfway through this video, not even to the end yet, I will say that if you are into gaming and if you game quite a bit on your phone and you have an iPhone 6, I would definitely upgrade to the iPhone XR because you will have a much better experience. So now let's go ahead and open up Vivino, the wine app. You can see there we pressed it at the same time, and this one's actually pretty close, it looks like, but the iPhone XR does prevail once again. You can see the iPhone 6 is actually struggling a little bit there, so definitely a win there for the iPhone XR as well. Now let's open up some less intensive applications like shortcuts. And you can see the animation there is just quicker on the iPhone XR. Again, both of these are on 12.1, so it's not software related. Let's do the calculator. And you can see the iPhone XR there by a few milliseconds. Do the App Store. iPhone XR once again, we were on a different tab, but that's not going to make a difference. All right, so now let's test out the RAM management on both of these devices. So we're going to go back and open up these games and see if we get any reloads on any of these devices. So we're going to do Galaxy on Fire 3. We don't have to press it at the same time. We're just looking for reloads here. So no reload on the iPhone XR. We pick up right where we left off. Meanwhile, on the iPhone 6, you can see it froze up a little bit and we had to fully relaunch the game. Let's do the same for PUBG. You can see there we're right back where we left off on the iPhone XR, and we have a relaunch here on the iPhone 6. So that 3 times as much RAM here on the iPhone XR is definitely showing now. Again, 3 gigabytes versus 1 gigabyte of RAM here on the iPhone 6. Let's go into Twitter. No reload for either there. Instagram. Looked like a reload for both, but we still loaded up first on the iPhone XR. YouTube. No reload for either. So it's looking like the games is mainly where you're going to find the reloads. Let's go into shortcuts. And actually, maybe a reload on the iPhone XR, not the iPhone 6. That's pretty interesting. We go into Vivino. No relaunch for either there. So obviously the RAM and just overall memory is so much better here on the iPhone XR as expected. So now let's go ahead and do a web browsing test in Safari. We're going to go to 3 different websites and see how much faster the iPhone XR is, if at all. So we're going to go first to producthunt.com in 3, 2, 1. And you can see here we're off to the races. It's pretty close, but the iPhone XR there did finish first. We're still loading there. So a few seconds behind is the iPhone 6. Let's go to espn.com now in 3, 2, 1. And the iPhone XR, once again, we loaded up content and fully loaded before this even showed content. So we showed content and fully loaded on the iPhone XR before we even saw any content whatsoever on the iPhone 6. And we're still struggling to load here on the iPhone 6. So web browsing, your web browsing experience is obviously going to be much better here on the iPhone XR as well. And then finally, let's go ahead to techcrunch.com on both. And 3, 2, 1. And once again, we see content in fully load before the iPhone 6 even shows any type of content whatsoever. So you can see there a good 5+ seconds. Going on 10 seconds behind is the iPhone 6. So yeah, a night and day difference here between the iPhone XR and the iPhone 6 in pretty much every single category. And the final thing I want to test is a quick speed test. We are on the same Wi-Fi network. I just want to run a quick speed test to see how much quicker the iPhone XR, the updated bands are in the iPhone XR over the iPhone 6. So obviously we're going to be able to get much higher download and upload speeds. We should be at least on the iPhone XR over the iPhone 6, but let's see just how significant those changes in speeds are. So you can see there we got a 62.7 download and about an 10.5 to 11, yes, an 11.1 upload here on the iPhone 6. Now let's run it here on the iPhone XR. So you can see we got a 149.1 download. So we literally over doubled the download speed here on the iPhone XR. And you can see the upload looks like it's going to be about the same. So we're going to have a much higher download and about equal upload. So 10.3, a little bit lower there than the iPhone 6, but you can see the big difference there in download speeds. So yeah, that is a speed test between the 2014 iPhone 6 and the 2018 iPhone XR. You're going to notice a massive difference in pretty much every single category. Not pretty much every single category. You're going to notice a big difference in the XR over the iPhone 6. So if you are still using an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 6 Plus in 2018 or 2019 and you're thinking about upgrading to the iPhone XR, I think you definitely should. You're going to notice a massive increase in performance. You're just going to notice a big difference in speed, even just from unlocking the device to actually getting into the home screen using Face ID versus Touch ID. You're just going to notice a big difference all around when it comes to web browsing, camera, video exporting, video importing. Everything is faster on the iPhone XR by a good margin. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this speed test down in the comment section below. And if you did enjoy it, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Also, let me know if you are using an iPhone 6 or 6 Plus still in 2018. I don't blame you. It's still a great device, but the iPhone XR and this new A12 Bionic chipset is just a beast. So yeah, make sure you guys subscribe for other speed tests like this as well. I do like to compare the newer phones to the older phones, so definitely subscribe if you want to see more of those. But anyways, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon.